I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now and ask yourself one question. The dog that greets you at the door every single day, the one that follows you to the bathroom, the one that can't sleep unless it's somewhere near you, the one that has been there through your worst days without ever asking for anything in return. What if that dog is trying to tell you something right now and you're too busy to notice? What if the day you've been pushing to the back of your mind, the day you don't want to think about, is closer than you think? And what if your dog already knows? Because here's the truth that veterinary science has confirmed after decades of research. Dogs know when they are dying. They feel the shutdown happening inside their own bodies. And in those final hours and final days, they send out very specific signals. Signals that most owners only recognize after it's too late. And that is exactly why I'm making this video today, because by the end of the next 8 minutes, you are going to know the 7 science-backed signs that a dog shows before it dies, and more importantly, you're going to know what to do when you see them. To understand why dogs behave the way they do near the end of their lives, you first have to understand something about where they come from. Dogs are descended from wolves, and in the wild, showing weakness was a death sentence. A weak animal gets separated from the pack, targeted by predators, left behind. So over millions of years of evolution, dogs became masters at one very specific thing: hiding their pain. And this is why your dog can be suffering internally for weeks before you see a single visible sign. It's not that they're fine, it's that they are biologically programmed to appear fine. And a 2016 study from Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest confirmed that dogs have empathy centers in their brains that are structurally similar to humans. Meaning your dog doesn't just sense your emotions, it actively absorbs them. And even in its own pain, it will try to protect you from worrying. Let that sink in for a second. Now let's talk about the 7 signs. The first sign is social withdrawal, and this one is the most commonly misunderstood. The dog that used to be your shadow, the one that couldn't let you out of its sight, suddenly starts disappearing. It finds a dark corner of the house, goes under the bed, hides behind the couch, and most owners think, maybe it's just tired, maybe it's having an off day. But what's actually happening is that ancient survival instinct is activating. Animals in the wild go off alone to die so they don't make the pack vulnerable. Your dog's body is telling it to go somewhere quiet and safe, and it is listening. So if your dog starts isolating itself in ways it never did before, please don't ignore it. The second sign is complete loss of appetite, and I don't mean being picky or skipping a meal. I mean the dog that used to go absolutely crazy at the sound of the treat bag suddenly has zero interest in food, water, or anything edible. And the biological reason is straightforward. When the body enters end-of-life shutdown, the digestive system is one of the first systems to go offline. The body redirects whatever remaining energy it has to the heart and the brain. Processing food becomes a task the body simply cannot afford anymore. So if your dog stops eating for more than 24 to 48 hours and shows other signs on this list, take it seriously. The third sign, and this is the one that breaks people the most when they look back, is when your dog starts coming to you constantly, resting its head in your lap, staring up at you with those eyes, not asking for food, not asking to go outside, just being near you. And in the moment, it feels sweet. It feels like a loving day. You think, oh, he's just being cuddly. But what researchers now call this behavior is permission seeking. Your dog is coming to the one person it trusts most in the world and in its own way asking, is it okay? Can I go? And most people don't realize until later that those quiet moments of closeness were actually their dog saying goodbye. The fourth sign is a drop in body temperature. You reach down to pet your dog and something feels off. The fur is there, but the warmth underneath isn't. The body feels cool, sometimes cold. Your dog might be shivering even though it doesn't have a fever. This happens because as circulation slows down, blood stops reaching the extremities efficiently, and the body's core temperature begins to fall. If you notice this combined with any of the other signs, the window of time you have left is very short. The fifth sign is a change in breathing, and this one is medically critical. The breathing becomes irregular, sometimes too fast, sometimes too slow, with long pauses in between. This pattern is called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, and it occurs when the brain's respiratory center is no longer receiving adequate oxygen. If you observe this in your dog, get to a veterinarian immediately, because at this stage, intervention can sometimes buy more time, and more time means more moments, and more moments matter more than you know right now. The sixth sign is a change in the eyes. Those eyes that used to light up the second you walk through the door, that had a spark in them, a recognition, an excitement. They go dull. The pupils dilate and stay dilated. The gaze becomes fixed and distant. Veterinarians call this the 1,000-yard stare. Your dog is looking at you, but it's also looking through you. And when you see this, understand that the nervous system is in its final stages, and what your dog needs most in that moment is not a vet visit. It's your presence, your voice, your hand. The seventh and final sign is the one that will stay with you for the rest of your life. It's when a dog that can barely move, that has no energy left, that should by all physical logic be completely still, somehow finds the strength to drag itself over to you one last time. It lays down next to your hand, puts its head against your leg, and closes its eyes. And what that means is this: out of every place in the world it could have chosen to take its last breath, it chose you. Because you are the safest place it has ever known. You are its home. And a 2019 study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior that tracked over 200 dog owners found that 78% of dogs displayed unusual closeness to their primary caretaker in the 24 to 72 hours before death. This wasn't random. This was a pattern. This was intentional. This was love in the only language they have. So here is what I need you to do right now. If you have a dog, whether it's young or old, whether it's perfectly healthy or showing some of these signs, tonight, put down whatever you're doing, sit on the floor, let your dog come to you, run your hand over its head, look into its eyes, and just be there. Because there is a man I read about who had a 14-year-old yellow lab named Bruno. And one night, Bruno walked into the bedroom, climbed up to the side of the bed, rested his chin on the man's hand, and the man thought Bruno was just being sweet. So he smiled, pulled a blanket over himself, and went to sleep. And in the morning, Bruno was gone. And that man said in an interview years later, "I would give anything to have just stayed awake that one night. Just that one night." Don't be that person. The dog waiting for you right now deserves better than our distraction, and so do you.